We're building confidence, bones, and balance today. Grab your dumbbells and let's go. All right, Killer Bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. Have your dumbbells completely out of the way and let's get started with a warm-up with some arm circles and high knees. You guys, I am so excited about today's workout and welcome to it. I'm Paula B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend. And around here, we are all about making peace with your menopausal body. And for me, one of the best ways to make peace with your menopausal body is to make sure that you are making the best of it. Today, we are all about building. We are building some confidence, we are building some bones, we are building some muscles, we are building some balance skills. We are taking care of ourselves. You know, it's so easy to think of exercise as a way to look a certain way. And I know that lots of fitness trainers will talk about, oh, when you exercise, you can, firm up this or squeeze together that, and I mean, sometimes I talk about that stuff too. Exercise is good for looking good, but it's also really, really, really good for keeping your body healthy and on your feet for years and years to come. And I want you to know that one of the best ways to build your confidence is to start off not feeling amazing. I know that sounds so weird, but today we might not feel absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. I mean, obviously, I always hope that you finish the workout feeling completely empowered, completely excited, completely sweaty, and completely happy with what you've done. But I've been thinking about this word confidence. And when we do things, we don't always feel confident, especially as we are building new skills. Today's workout is so beginner friendly, even for those of you who are not beginners at strength training. Today, what I wanted to talk about was how we get confidence at things. We don't get confidence by not doing them. We get confidence by practicing things that maybe we're not excited about doing, that maybe we've put off, that maybe we're not really good at right now. Because the only way to get good at something and to get confident at something is to start where we are. And where we are right now is in my home. So welcome to my home, my friends. Welcome to a slow-moving workout. And by slow-moving, I don't mean that it's going to be easy. I don't mean that we're going to not sweat. It's going to be the exact right amount of tough. I've got the handy-dandy Gym Boss set for 1-minute intervals, and none of those is rest. I'm using very moderate dumbbells today. I'm not trying to aim for something super heavy, super tough, super hardcore. Today really is about doing what we do, because doing one workout is never going to be the thing that makes you strong and builds your bones forever and builds your confidence forever and does everything that you could possibly ever want to get done. Really, what we're doing today is getting started on our journey of building our bones, building our muscles, building our confidence, building our balance. But I will tell you, the strength and the balance are separate today. Today's strength work is actually incredibly simple, not necessarily easy. We're going to get started with deadlifts, which is honestly one of my favorite exercises in the world, but one that I know that not everybody loves. I'm going to go ahead and grab my dumbbells, and we're going to talk a lot about form today, about thinking about pulling in our core. Let's go ahead and put on the timer. Here we go. So you're going to have the dumbbells facing your body, feet about hip width apart. You're going to think about pushing your butt back behind you and getting down wherever you can get to. It really doesn't matter how low you go. What matters is what muscles you're using. Just because you look like I do doesn't mean that you are using the same muscles that I'm using. So think about pulling in your core. Think about squeezing your glute muscles. Think about where you feel this work. If you feel it in your lower back, by the way, really make sure that you've pulled in your core and don't go over quite as far. This should all be coming from your glutes. When it beeps, we're going to do something I call front raise, side raise, which is exactly what that is. One of our hands is going to be doing a front raise, one of our hands is going to be doing a side raise. But right now, while we're doing these deadlifts, we're simply thinking about pushing your hips back behind you and then pulling your hips back underneath you. So your center of gravity is shifting back, and and then pulling forward. Now from that same position with your feet about hip width apart, core pulled in nice and tight, we're gonna do one front raise and one side raise, and then we're gonna switch. So the other hand is doing a front raise, the other hand is doing a side raise. Your goal is to get your arms, I'm gonna say parallel with the floor, more or less. It's not really about that. Once again, it's about pulling in your core and thinking about form. When you are squeezing from the middle of your back, using your big back muscles to do this work, that's when you're doing it properly. Just because you've lifted your arms the way I've lifted my arms doesn't mean that you're pulling from the correct muscles. My friends, when it beeps again, we're gonna do triangles. One hand is gonna be up overhead while we roll that other arm down the side. Feet are gonna be almost uncomfortably wide. Right now, we're thinking about pulling in our core. We're thinking about nice, simple moves that can get us feeling stronger and better. Okay, so feet are a little bit wider apart. Hands start right here at chest height. One hand goes up overhead while the other one rolls down your leg. As it's rolling down your leg, you're jutting out that hip to the other side, using all of your hip complex to get this work done. And then of course we're gonna switch and do that same thing on the other side. Now we're coming down laterally to the side, not really tipping forward very much. Of course your core is pulled in tight because that's how that hand stays up overhead pointed towards the ceiling. That's how your hip complex can do the work of jutting your hip out and bringing your hip back underneath you. It does not matter in the least how low you go. It matters that you are squeezing your abs, pulling in your core, using all of the right muscles, the big muscles in your body. Now when it beeps again, I'm gonna have to think so hard about this. I practiced it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. We're doing another complex move, meaning that we're doing two things at once. We're doing a biceps curl plus a press up. So I'm actually gonna start in the press up biceps curl motion because this is what it looks like. Both hands are extended completely and then they meet in the middle. So you're curling up and then we're gonna switch. So you're curling down while pressing up on the other side. They meet in the middle. One goes down, one comes up. Now the thing about this is that as the hand that is doing the biceps curl is curling, you really want to make sure that your elbow is locked into your waist. That hand stays pointed, the palm faces out the entire time, while the other hand actually rotates from facing you to facing out. This is a lot like patting your head and rubbing your stomach for me. This is a lot of concentration. Of course your core is pulled in tight, tight, tight. Now coming up next, we're gonna do side bends, and that is our last exercise in this circuit. Side bends have your feet about hip width apart, and it is almost the exact opposite of triangles. We're not moving anything in your hip complex. We're bending to the side wherever your spine can take you, and then you're using your abs and obliques to pull you back up. If you feel this work any place but your abs, my friends, you're going over too far and you're recruiting muscles that we're not asking to work right now. This is abs, abs, abs right now, and it is surprisingly tough to keep your hips really, really motionless. Now here's the thing, this was our circuit today. Absolutely no squats, no lunges, very knee friendly. We're gonna do it 3 times so that we really have enough time to practice. No matter what you are capable of doing this first round, we've got 2 more times to give it another bit of a go. So when it beeps again, we're doing deadlifts. Really thinking about pulling in your core, pushing your hips back, and moving your hips forward. Always having your core pulled in. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can really watch this in motion. You'll notice, because my hamstrings are pretty tight, that my knees do bend a little bit because my hamstrings and glutes are strong enough to let me go down a little bit further. If you don't go down this far, that's totally okay. It has nothing to do with bending over and everything to do with pulling yourself back up. So making sure that you're using your big gluteal muscles to do all that work. You guys, when we build muscle, you know, when I was younger, I don't know if this is still like I'm going to call it a fear, even though that's a very strange word for it. When I was younger, something that women used to talk about all the time is, you know, when they would do strength training, I don't want to bulk up. I don't want to get bulky. And I get that. Like, you know, we want to be slim. We want to be fit. We want to be trim. But I will tell you that building muscle like we do, and building the big muscles in your body, is one of the nicest things you could do for your body. Here we go with that front raise, side raise. So one hand is doing a front raise, the other hand, other arm, is doing a side raise. And we're going back and forth, pulling your core in nice and tight. When you have muscles on your bones, not only does this exact type of work build your muscles, it actually builds your bones. Having resistance, having something heavy in your hands acts like, it's tough on your bones, which sounds like a bad thing, but when you ask your bones to do something unusual, they get bigger, they get stronger. When it beeps again, by the way, we're doing triangles. And the same thing works for your muscles. In fact, your muscles and bones build in very different ways, but very similar ways. By doing work like this, that's a little bit tough on them, we tear them down a little bit, we break them down. And then your muscles and bones send out all kinds of signals to your body that said, hey, we never want to break down like that again. Here we go with triangles. So feet almost uncomfortably wide. One hand goes up and faces the ceiling the whole time, while we roll the other hand down as far as you can go, wherever you can get to, where your hip complex can pull you back up. Your body wants to get better at things, and the only way it can get better at things is by not pushing past your limits so much, but doing something that it doesn't always do. So when we pick up heavy things a couple times a week, maybe 2, maybe 3 times a week for about 20, maybe 30 minutes, today's only going to be about 20, maybe 25 minutes, when we ask our body to do that little bit of unusual something, it responds by saying, hey, that was tough. I never want it to be that hard again. I'm going to get better at it. And it gets better at it. I'm telling you right now that we're doing biceps curls and press-ups next, because I know it's going to beep here in just a little bit. Oh my gosh, and I'm going to have to think about that. It gets better at it by, let me start in my position here, one up, one down, and then we meet in the middle. One is doing a biceps curl, one is doing a press up. My feet are just a little bit too close. Make sure that your core is pulled in tight. Anytime you have something heavy going up overhead, you want to make sure that your tailbone is tucked underneath you. That's part of pulling in your core. Your body sends out all kinds of signals to make your muscles and bones a little bit stronger. So next time, this isn't as tough. Every time we do this work, your body sends out those signals to make sure that your muscles and bones are strong enough, just in case we ever do this again. This kind of work done regularly, done consistently, can help you keep muscles on your bones your whole life. Now, why is that a good thing? Because, my friends, if someday you happen to fall, and I hope you never do, but I have fallen before, it happens. Here we go with side bends, feet about hip width apart, and here we go. Only as far as your spine can get you. Let your arms just relax. That weight is pulling you down and making it tough for you to pull yourself back up. It's a little bit of resistance for your abdominal and oblique muscles. The oblique muscles it's basically your girdle. It's the sides of your waist. Oh my goodness, this is always harder than I think it's going to be. This is the end of round 2. We've got one more round, so coming up we're going to do deadlifts next. My friends, if you were to fall, I know that lots of us think that if we've got some fat on our body, that is good padding. I've heard that, what I'm going to call a myth a couple of times. I've actually even heard of people's healthcare providers telling them, oh yeah, it's okay to have a little bit of fat on your body. It's cushion for when you fall. I will tell you that fat does not cushion you nearly as well as muscle. Muscle is so dense and so thick. Here we go with deadlifts. So feet about hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. Push, push, push your butt back. And then pull, pull, pull your butt forward by squeezing your gluteal muscles, squeezing from your hamstrings. When you have some nice, thick, cushiony muscles surrounding your bones, my friends, that is so good to prevent bone breakage. Not only will you have strong bones to help prevent osteoporosis or even possibly reverse some osteopenia, you will have muscles protecting them as well. When you do strength training like this, you're protecting your bones in two ways. You're giving them a big, thick cushion around them, and you're helping them stay as big and thick and dense, as strong as they can themselves. My friends, your bones absolutely love strength training, whether your brain does or not. When it beeps, here it is. We're doing that front raise, side raise. I've tried to make today as simple as possible while still being enough of a challenge. Today, I mean, obviously you've noticed, I have to think about these exercises. We're thinking about where our body is in space and time. It is not my goal for you to be so sore that you can't move tomorrow. That's honestly never, almost never my goal. Sometimes if we have like a really hard push day, which is appropriate for certain types of training, then yes, it feels lovely to be sore. But this kind of work, this is actually meant to be very regular work. This is something that you could do a couple of times a week and not feel like it's too much, not feel like you're overloading yourself. It's just enough that we're getting the strength, we're building our bones, we're building our confidence, we're building our muscles. We're feeling really good about it, but it's not something that you would ever dread. Like maybe you used to dread strength training. Here we go with triangles. Feet a little bit wider. Here we go. One hand goes up while the other one rolls right down the side. Oh my goodness. When I was younger, because of that whole I don't want to bulk up thing, I absolutely avoided strength training for a long time. I understood that it was probably good for me and that it was okay, and it was kind of boring to me. It was kind of slow. Maybe you're feeling like that today. But here's what I finally learned as I have gotten older. Is that sometimes moving slowly actually feels really good. It feels really empowering, really strengthening, really confidence building. When it beeps again, we're going to do those biceps curls and press ups. And I have to tell you that on round 2, I actually did feel a little bit more confident with that exercise. My friends, we do not get better at the things we avoid doing. When I started strength training, which was probably, I'm going to say it was 10 years ago right now. Okay. Feet a little bit about hip width apart. One is up, one is down. Think, Paula. Okay, one comes down. We meet in the middle. Yes, I had to close my eyes for that. Here's the thing, my friends. It doesn't matter if we don't feel amazing when we get started. What matters is that we keep going. The only way to build confidence is to practice stuff that we don't feel amazing at. Here's what I was saying. I didn't really start doing strength training till probably 10 years ago. Maybe. I guess it was probably about 10 years ago when I started realizing that I couldn't just run. I was already pretty fit. I've been running for about 15 years. I was already very fit. When it beeps again, we're doing side bends. But honestly, for the first couple of years that I was running, I got down to my goal weight. I loved to run. I really didn't do anything else. I didn't feel like I needed to. I felt like I was strong and healthy. And then, here we go with side bends. And then I actually broke one of my bones. So side bends is only as far as your spine can take you. Your waist muscles are doing the work here, but your spine flexion, your ability to go from side to side without jutting your hip out is how far you'll be able to go. Now I'm going to tell you guys, when it beeps again, we are done with this circuit and we are done with the strength training, but I do have more for us. I know you can see the timer there. We've got a finisher. It's a rather long finisher today of balance work, because that is another way to stay on our feet and stay strong and healthy for many, many, many years to come. So when it beeps, we're going to put our dumbbells down. You're welcome. Gosh, if you really wanted to, you could hang on to them. I'm not going to. I'm going to put them down because I really want to focus on my balance. You are also welcome to pause the video and grab a chair if you'd like to. We are balancing. And if you're not great at balancing right now, you don't need to be. We're going to start with front kickers. I'm going to stand on my left foot. You're welcome to stand on whichever foot you want. I'm going to stand on my left foot, and we're kicking and then tapping down and kicking and tapping down. You're hanging in the kick position as long as you feel comfortable with, and you're getting your other leg, your flying leg, up as high as you feel comfortable with. That might be an inch off the ground. That might be 1 second of hanging. This is how we get more confident, by practicing in really small doses something that I mean, this is not something that you would do all the time, but you do have one foot up and one foot down every time you walk. You are balancing every single time you walk. And if you don't practice feeling better, stronger, more confident at keeping one foot off the ground a little bit longer, then you could lead, oh my goodness, to a fall. Now make sure, of course, that your core is pulled in nice and tight. The leg that you're standing on, your knee is soft but strong. We're gonna do that on the other side now. So the knee is soft but strong. We're kicking as far as you can. Oh my gosh, this feels so different on this side. It always does. This is the thing I always notice, and this is exactly why we do single-sided work. When you stand on, when I was sitting on what felt like my non-dominant side, my balance felt a little bit shakier. Actually, I've gotten pretty good at balancing on my left side now because I practice it so often, but my kick felt really good. And now my balance feels better, but my kick feels really shaky, like I'm not as strong getting this kick up. Very interesting. When it beeps again, we're gonna do something I call side tippers. So we're going from front kickers to side tippers. That's exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna tip to the side. We're practicing our balance in all planes today because you never know what you're gonna be in the middle of when you might have a fall. So we gotta practice in different planes of motion, moving our bodies in different ways in small, tiny increments so that we can feel better and more confident. It's literally a tip to the side and then bring your foot back down. It does not matter how far over you go. If you could tip all the way over, oh my gosh, please do. If you can hang there for a while, please do. This is meant to help your confidence and your balance wherever you are. If you need to hang on to something, hang on to something. I'll encourage you to actually try not to hang on to something for this particular finisher today, just because this is meant to be very tiny. If you are picking up your foot even that little bit and hanging on for even that 1 second, that is building your balance, my friends. Balance is a skill like, I always think about knitting. If you knit, do you remember learning to knit? I remember, I was probably 5 years old, maybe 6. There's a picture of me, a very, very little Paula, knitting with my little hands and my little needles sitting on my grandma's lap. Here we go on the other side with these side tippers. Sitting on my grandma's lap while she taught me how to knit. Oh my gosh, my first knitting pieces for probably the first, I'm gonna say 10 years that I was knitting, partly because I started so young. They were dreadful. They were awful. They were not good. I had no skill at all. I don't knit, I can't think of the last time I was knitting, but I got to the point later in life where, I could knit a sweater, I could knit an Afghan, I could knit things, and it looked not terrible. That's how balance is. You guys, when it beeps again, we're doing, it's my favorite, it's the finisher of the finisher. We're doing bird boppers, or bobbers. They are drinky birds, but they are drinky birds like kinder, gentler sister. We're barely tipping over. This is meant to be confidence building. This is meant to help you feel amazing about where you are right now with your balance. Maybe we're just tipping. Maybe we're just kicking. Maybe we're just bobbing. I'm going to show you what a bird bobber looks like from the side. We're tipping forward and we're coming back up. It's exactly like a drinky bird, but we're not trying very hard to get all the way over. We're simply thinking about having our hip bones both pointed forward. We're thinking about having that back toe pointed towards the ground. We're thinking about pulling up that back leg by squeezing your glutes, my friends. And yes, I just smacked myself on the booty because I want you to think about where this power is coming from. It's coming from the center of your body, your core, your abs in front, your glutes in back. That's where balance originates. The core of your body is the core of all of your power. When we're not thinking so hard about, oh, I have to get all the way over, or oh, I have to hold on to this for 20 seconds, or whatever it is that I usually make you guys do these, you'll notice this motion, I just had to look at you and then I started really bobbling. This motion in and of itself, not that bad, not that scary. Let's go ahead and do that exact same thing on the other side. And this is our very last thing. The next time it beeps is the last time it's gonna beep. We're thinking about these bird bobbers. We're thinking about squeezing from that glute to pull that leg up behind you. If you're tipping forward by a 1/2 inch and pulling that leg even 1/2 inch off the ground, you, my friend, are practicing your balance. You are going to get better at it and going to feel confident with your balance when you practice it. Couple of times a week. Help yourself to just this little bit. This was what, 5-6 minutes of balance? It's not overwhelming. It's not too much. It's at the end of something else that also felt very strong and powerful and confidence building. This kind of work done regularly is the thing that can keep you on your feet. It can keep your bones strong. It can keep your muscles strong. It can keep your mind strong. Let's tap this out. My friends, that was it. How good did that feel? Not great, right? I mean, it's okay. That's the thing. We're building confidence by not being amazing at something first. You did such a good job today, and I'm super, super, super proud of you. Now, here's the thing. If you are not like a girl who does strength training all the time, you might actually be a little bit sore. I'm going to point you in the direction of a slightly longer cool down so that you can really kind of let your muscles get back to where they were. Hopefully today was exactly just right for you. Let's go ahead and open it up. Take a nice deep breath, open up your heart, and then, oh my goodness, close it up. Give yourself a big hug and a pat on your back. Didn't get too sweaty today, just sweaty enough and just strong enough, my friends. My friends, speaking of enough, this was enough. I know lots of you are going to ask me, oh, can't I do just a little bit more so that I can get stronger faster? Doesn't really work that way. We get strong a little bit at a time. Be okay with being exactly where you are and have the confidence to know that you'll be better when you get better. My friends, thank you so much for working out with me today. There's a longer cool down for you if you'd like, and make sure you click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.